Heath Ledger, make room for Joaquin Phoenix.
Are you posting a video of me wiping my hands? Be careful not to hit me.
Joaquin Phoenix's Joker is officially my favorite Joker. Wow. I'm still scratching my head. I'm still trying to process everything from last night. I have to go see it again because I didn't take a notebook with me. I just want to enjoy it viscerally and get it, all the emotions, and just see it for the first time, just raw. Wow. Mental health. I really hope this movie raises a huge amount of awareness for mental health patients, and the mental health technicians that deal with these patients. This movie is one giant banner for mental health. I know the numbers is 1 in 4. Every 1 in 4 Americans is on some type of medication for whatever mental illness. There's many more millions that are currently undiagnosed. This movie is the hoping. I hope it's the tipping point in getting more Americans to talk about and deal with and discuss and future fund more the research and the treatments for mental illness. My God, this was a brilliant movie. I hope the Academy recognizes this movie. Todd Phillips, masterful job. Oh my God, just epic. It was a slow burn for about 20 minutes, but I get it. You had to get into the man's mindset, and I'm sitting here rooting for the guy. I'm rooting for Arthur Fleck. Every person he killed, I was like, yeah. I get it. I understood the character. I was empathetic towards the character. I was rooting for the guy. I wanted the guy to win. I wanted his voice to be heard. I wanted him to be recognized. I did not want him to be no longer silenced or shamed because he did things different. Society's norms, wreaks havoc on people with mental illnesses. And this movie pointed it out with a huge flashlight. Bravo to everybody that worked on this movie. This is a masterful movie. Wow. So Arthur Fleck is taking care of his mom. Arthur Fleck clearly he has a laughing disorder. He gives these people his cards, saying it's a mental condition from either brain injury or neurological trauma. His mother is also she's a schizophrenic with narcissistic personality. So she's batshit crazy. So the whole basic premise of this movie is his mother imagined a relationship with Thomas Wayne. I like how they portray Thomas Wayne, Bruce Culler, I believe. Thomas Wayne is always seen as a champion for the people. In this movie, not so much. I like this version of how they did Thomas Wayne as an elitist. This movie is about classism, elitism, the poor versus the rich, the haves versus the have-nots, the dismissive attitudes that the elites have towards the common folk. The tipping point is when the Arthur Fleck Joker is getting beat up on the subway train. He's given a gun by one of his co-workers earlier, shoots the 3 yuppies, kills them dead, and the description is a guy in a clown suit. So then Thomas Wayne goes on TV saying, whoever did this was a faceless coward. He's a clown. So the common folk took offense to that, and then had this outpouring of people so concerned about the death of 3 yuppies, and then at the same time you downput an entire sect of people that are considered lower class. So basically, Joker is the spark of the revolution. He is the inspiration for Bruce Wayne's Joker. He is not the Joker. Okay, let's get that something straight. So then the mother is in delusional state. She believes that her and Thomas Wayne had a son, which is Arthur. Arthur ends up reading the note because his mother's always sending these letters. She's like, make sure you send a letter. So Arthur just opens one of his letters and reads this love letter from his mother to Thomas Wayne. And it says, Arthur's a good kid. You said he's going to take care of us. So, of course, Arthur flips. She's like, is it true? He's my dad. He ends up going to the Wayne Manor. He sees a young Bruce through the gate. He does a little magic trick and stuff. I believe the butler comes out. He's like, hey, no, who you? And he's like, I'm Arthur Fleck. My mother Peggy used to work here. He's like, oh, she used to work here 30 years ago. She was crazy. So come to find out, Peggy was in Arkham for letting her boyfriend beat on her son, tying him up to a radiator. She, like I said, mental illness passed down to the child. Come to find out, the boy was adopted. So then, basically, Arthur loses it. He ends up choking the butler through the gate. Goes to a party. He comes across Thomas Wayne. Thomas is like, I remember your mother. She was delusional. We had to have her committed. She was crazy. And then, of course, Arthur's like, no, man, Dad, come on, Dad. Why you always treat me like this? You treat me like common folk, and I'm a regular person. You see me. So Thomas ends up punching him in the face. Then the Joker, two of his former co-workers come to visit him. He stabs the big dude in the neck with the scissors and stabs him in the eye, bashes his head against the wall. The little midget dude's like, and then Arthur was like, no, you can go because you were always nice to me. Gave him a kiss on the head, let him out. It was funny because he couldn't reach the lock under the gate. He couldn't unlock the lock at the top. And the little midget, and Arthur had to unlock it and help him out. That was funny. He had this relationship with Zazie Beetz, aka she played the character Sophie. Come to find out, it was all a figment of Arthur's imagination. And then his mother had a stroke because cops came to their home and asked him about Arthur. So Arthur is a slight suspect in the murder of the three yuppies. So then after Arthur's psychotic break and finding out after dealing with Wayne, and he ends up suffocating his mother in the hospital because she has a stroke. He puts a pillow over her face and suffocates her. And every person he kills, I'm like, hell yes. Kill they motherfucking asses. So then there's a video clip of him performing because he wants to be a stand-up comedian. It gets shown on Murray Franklin, played by Robert De Niro. They play that. He got a lot of responses to come back on this show because people were curious. So then basically, this all leads up to Arthur being on the Murray Franklin show, and he's in full Joker regalia. He dyes his hair green, got the white face paint with the eyes and the mouth, and he's owning it. He owns the moment that he becomes the Joker. So then the cops see him, they chase him, and then he leads them to the subway. There's a riot, there's a protest, Joker protest. Everyone's got Joker masks on and going downtown to protest the treatment of the yuppies, receiving all this praise and basically to disrupt the system. So the cops get into it with the Joker's protesters. They get beat to a pulp. They're in critical condition. Arthur ends up making it to the Murray Franklin show. He meets Murray behind the stages, behind the scenes, like, oh, what's this get up? What's this? You're not part of the protest? I'm like, no, I'm not part of the protest. No. So then he's on the show. He comes out. Murray introduces him as Joker, and then Arthur goes into a diatribe and really points out the flaws and the hypocrisies of societal norms when it comes to people with mental illness. It was a beautifully written dialogue, beautifully written screenplay. And between the banter between Fleck and Murray, and he kept calling him Murray, and you could feel the anguish in Joaquin playing Fleck. And if you didn't root for this guy, something's wrong with you. So then he ends up, he tells one joke, the knock joke, and it falls flat. He says, you know what's the worst thing is the guy with something with a gun shoots Murray Franklin in the head on live television. Shoots him again, then goes to the camera, says some more stuff. He's like, oh, he's about to say, that's life. He gets tackled. Pandemonium ensues. He is the next biggest thing all over the TV news feed. He's in the back of a cop car, and they're driving down downtown Gotham, and it's pandemonium. The Jokers are everywhere just tearing shit up. Out comes Thomas and Martha Wayne with Bruce Wayne. So this is leading up to the much aligned death of Thomas and Martha, which snaps little Bruce to become Batman. So a Joker and confronts Thomas Wayne in the alley. He says, you know what, this, you know, you're a classist, or like you're an elitist. Shoots Wayne, shoots Martha, rips the pearls off, and of course Bruce is just standing there. So that's excuse me. So that's how they led into Arthur Fleck being the inspiration for the Jokers, which kind of indirectly led to the death of Bruce's parents, which indirectly leads to Bruce becoming Batman. This movie was fucking awesome. Like I said, first 20 minutes was a little bit slow. I gotta go see it again. Also, the character was on 7 different medications. Also, the 2 black female psychiatrists. The first one that he was seeing, you know, he was like, you know, you don't even listen to me at all. You've never listened to me. And the second one, when he's in Arkham Asylum, these women were very cold, calculated, very pragmatic, uncaring, unfeeling women. Okay, now that could be a stereotype, or that's just how they wanted the characters played, the black female psychiatrist. So at the end of his session with the black psychiatrist in Arkham, you can see him walking out down the hallway, blood on his shoes. At the bottom of his shoes, you see the bloody footprints, because you know he killed her. So then he's walking towards the end. He runs to the left, walks to the left, and he runs back out. And then you see 2 people chasing him, and he runs back to the right. Two more people chasing him, and it ends. Holy shit. The Joker is worth every dollar spent. Go see this thing 2 times. It was a brilliantly made movie. Damn near flawless. This will be mentioned amongst the greats of movies, not just comic book movies, just movies, period. It was that damn good. That being said, y'all have a good one. Peace.